Hey there, 11:02. Here we are with our fourth week of our second quarter here. We are covering chapters 11 and 12 this week. That has to do with tone, language, myth, things like that. For chapter 11, The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien, part of Tim O'Brien's collection of stories that he wrote about Vietnam, the war. And then The Lottery by Shirley Jackson. You might know the name Shirley Jackson. Over the past year, I believe it was last year, around this time, Netflix released a series called The Haunting of Hill House, which is loosely based on Jackson's novel of the same name. There was a film, first half of the 20th century, 50s, 60s, called The Haunting, and then there was a remake of The Haunting in the 90s, based on Shirley Jackson's same story. Her story, The Haunting of Hill House, yes. There's also something on Netflix right now called We Have Always Lived in the Castle, which I watched recently, which is pretty good. Very different and kind of quirky, not like a horror, gross out, spine-chilling type of horror movie, just kind of bizarre. But that is based on a Shirley Jackson work as well. So Shirley Jackson's work is kind of experiencing somewhat of a pop culture review, if you will. Kind of a renaissance resurgence, however you'd like to put that. But The Lottery, okay, kind of a brutal story in its own right, okay? So, two stories there, and discussion questions accompanying them, just like we had a couple weeks ago. You're going to go into lessons this time in week 4, and you will see the odd and even questions for those stories, and I've given you from the e-text chapters 11 and 12 as well to read the stories, okay? You also have a blog opportunity this week based on the Sherman Alexie, Zadie Smith, and Edgar Allan Poe works that you all dealt with last week. And as of watching this video, you all have turned in your first literary analysis based on the writing assignment in Chapter 10. So I will be getting those back to you in the coming weeks, coming couple of weeks. And as far as chapters 11 and 12, those two stories, and doing the discussion questions and the blog, if you'd like. The only other thing I would recommend that you all start doing, as we are now kind of halfway in the second quarter here, halfway through, is start looking at Oedipus Rex, Oedipus the King. That is the play by the ancient Greek tragedian Sophocles, on which our final MLA research essay is based. So it's never a bad idea, yes, even this early, time is going to go like that, okay, as you know, it always does, every semester, okay? We must be having so much fun is what it is, right? It's going to come pretty close, okay? So I recommend going ahead and reading Oedipus Rex now, kind of getting a feel for it, okay? Oedipus Rex is one of those cornerstone works of Western literature, Western thought. It's a huge cultural pillar on which much of our thought rests today in many different ways. Let's go ahead and, while I have the book in front of me here, go to the drama section, and I will point this out to you. It is it is on page, it is chapter, well, there's Antigone there, not there, it's somewhere in here. I don't have it pulled up right in front of me, but Sophocles, Oedipus Rex, I recommend that you guys start reading that now. And I'm going to give you the prompt, how I want you to kind of focus your research, how I want you to focus on the play. There will be a research question that will guide your research. Probably have that for you guys next week. So read that, and also next week we're going to conclude our look at fiction and begin our look at poetry. Okay, so we'll probably have a couple more stories to do, and then we will start looking at poetry. And I'm going to try to cram is probably not the best choice of words there, but I'm probably going to fill our poetry unit with as much poetry as possible, okay? Because we do have a lot to choose from, and what I'm probably going to do is just have so many questions per poem so that we can read as much as we possibly can. So we will get there next week, and for this week, as I said, as I awkwardly shuffle around for the index here, because I know that Sophocles play Oedipus Rex is in here. You have the two stories and poetry next week. Okay, so you guys will find Sophocles Oedipus Rex in here. It's in chapter 30, his work Antigone. Okay, I just don't have... Oh, wait a minute. No, that's not it either. In any case, it's bugging me that I can't find it on video right now, but alas. Anyway, go ahead and do that, and I think that is pretty much it for a nice, short, and sweet... Aha! It's on page 1182. Okay, you didn't think I'd find it, did you? Okay. 1182, Sophocles. And there is a writing suggestion there. I like to come up with my own questions, but the college wants us to use the questions that the book provides. So I very well might give you all one of the questions, the writing questions for your research essay. So we'll get to that next week, okay? But I think I've said enough. What you have to do this week, you'll read the announcement. It's there too. And if you have any questions along the way, feel free to ask. I am happy to help you. Hope you guys had a nice Halloween here in Florida. It was, even in Northeast Florida, it was, what, 90 degrees on Halloween? That was not fun. But then the next day, All Saints Day, the 1st, it cooled off by 30 degrees, and it's been quite seasonable and not so bad ever since. I'm pretty sure it's quite cool up there in Northwest Georgia. In any case, that's all I have, folks. Have a great week. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.